here.
Welcome. Come on in.
I know she's in there. You're right, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just going to start, and then if anybody else wants to trickle in, we'll just have them join the party. So, my name is Christina Hansel. I am with New York Life Insurance. I'm a local agent in the community. So my focus today for you guys is just to kind of go over some options for college funding, different resources that you might have available, and just go from there. So a little bit about myself. I have been in the industry now 20 years. I have 2 kids. My son David is about to be 23. He is currently deployed in Korea in the Army. And my daughter Anise is about to be 17. She's a junior in Steinbrenner and leaving for the Air Force senior year. I didn't homeschool my children, but my sister did, and she's here. So I'm very familiar with the homeschool communities. A lot of my clients homeschool little children, so I'm not foreign to this at all. I did realize that there is a huge gap with the resources homeschool families have compared to what's offered with the public school system. So I'm hoping to kind of bridge that gap as much as I can with what I do. Okay. Hi, welcome. So today I'm going to briefly go over just a few things. Very, very brief seminar. Anybody has questions in the end, please feel free to hang back and I'm more than happy to talk to you. So how much a 4-year degree typically will cost today compared to 10 years from now? Available options parents might have when you're working on building a college plan. And then the resources again. And of course it's never too late to start. So let's see if I can get this thing to work. So this is just for information and educational purposes only. I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA. So please contact your attorney and CPA if you have any kind of tax legal questions. Hey, how are you? Welcome.
All right. Might have enough to
Welcome. So by a show of hands, anybody, parents, anybody in here use student loans straight for school? I do, yeah. Most of us do. Most of us did. By a show of hands, and you don't have to answer this one, but is anybody still paying on their student loans? All right, so you understand. So as of January 2022, there is 1.74 trillion in U.S. student debt. That is the second largest consumer debt, first being the mortgages, which is insane. So what does college actually cost? Anybody have an idea of what they think college costs? So when we talk about core college classes, all I'm referring to is room and board and tuition. That is it. That does not take into consideration your textbooks, your application fees, living expenses, moving expenses, so on and so forth. So these numbers that I'm going to be going over are annual numbers. So assuming your child's going to go to a 4-year degree, multiply these numbers by 4. So keep in mind, again, these numbers I'm going to talk about, they're based on today, if your child goes to school today on Sunday. Now down the road. Obviously, inflation is a real thing. We can pretty much guarantee college will not cost today what it will in 10 years. It is crucial to have a strategy and plan ahead because we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. It's best to lock in the rates immediately. You're never going to be as young as you are today. Lock that child's rates in and start saving for the college ASAP if you're able to. So briefly talked about tuition rates. However, we haven't even began to talk about things like the application fees, the textbooks, if there's test fees, the moving expenses, Is your child going out of state to college? You have to pay for that moving truck, to and from. When we think about being a good parent, at least when I think about trying to be a good parent, my goal is to provide for my kids better than I did, better than I had. Setting up our kids for success is so much easier said than done. You know, I had an idea of what I wanted my kids to do and how I wanted to raise them, and it didn't work that way. But it takes a village. We cannot do this alone. With everybody on the same page, helping one another, we can get through it together. All right, so we always hear the term saving for college, saving for college. But saving for college means more than putting your money aside. There's a lot more that goes to that. In fact, many of the tools designated to save for college are investment vehicles. That's my sister and my nephew's. Typically, a proper college funding strategy will include multiple savings vehicles, investments, saving accounts, 529 plans, IRAs, life insurance policies, you name it. However, there's 4 things you need to take into account when you're building your strategy here. So number 1, managing and reducing your market mix. So what that means is in order to earn money, you have to take on some kind of managed risk. But you want to make sure you're protecting your principal investment that you're putting in there, given the time that you guys have. So, I'm sorry guys, this is all over the place right now. Has anybody in here heard of a 529 plan? Okay, anybody have a 529 plan? Awesome. Coverdell plan? Ever heard of that? No? Okay, let's look at some. 529 is the most common plan used. However, what a lot of people don't know is 529 plans, sorry, my apologies, bear with me. Okay. 529 plans are the most practical way to fund your child's strategy. The problem is the tax consequences. It has to be used for that child's education, or you pay the tax consequences on it. So the Coverdell, right here. This is an education plan that's funded with up to $2,000 a year until your child's 18th birthday. This is a pretty unique strategy because the funds in that account can be used for elementary school, secondary school, and even college expenses. Now this one is very similar to a 529 plan in that the money that is in there is going to be used for education expenses. However, with the 529 plan, you will get a penalty if you don't use it for those education expenses. Anybody heard of using life insurance as an investment vehicle? Okay. Cash value life insurance, there's a difference. There's a big difference. This is a non-traditional option. However, the primary reason to have life insurance, as we all are aware, is for the death benefit. But what a lot of people don't understand is that death benefit, or excuse me, the cash value can be used while your child is alive. So it's a multi-part, if it's structured correctly. So how do you guys know which option is right for you? Because there's so many different options. Well, what's right for her isn't going to be right for you. Everybody's different. It's going to depend on your child's age, whether it is your child where they want to go to school, if you've already saved, if you haven't even started saving. So it's important to look at all aspects of this when we're building a strategy. It's going to take more than just good grades for college. You know, again, all the other expenses that go with it, hand in hand. Are you prepared? Are you ready for those? Never too late to start saving for your college education. It's never too late. Do you have a strategy? If you have a strategy, when is the last time that you visited that strategy? Is your life the same as it was 5 years ago when you started that strategy? Maybe things have to be changed around and, you know, moved around a little bit.
again, it takes a village to raise a child. We cannot do this alone. I know a lot of times, at least myself throughout my life, I always feel like I'm Wonder Woman and I don't need to ask for help, but definitely need some help with raising kids here. So with the right tools and the right people in the community, we can make this work. And then this is some resources here if you guys want to write these down. Sorry. SallieMaeEducationPlanner.org is one of my favorite ones. StudentAid.ed.gov, SavingForCollege.com, CollegeSavings.org, and NewYorkLife.com. Do you guys have any questions? This is it. It's a very simple, fast seminar, because I only have 15 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
Do you know about the 529s, like more details? Do you know if it can be rolled over to another child if it's not used?
It can absolutely be rolled over to another child, yes, ma'am. So I wasn't able to talk in detail, unfortunately, because I only have a certain amount of time.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
just did, when you said that it has to be used for the.
Correct, education expenses, yep. It can be transferred to another child. Anybody else? Questions? No? Well, thank you for listening. If you do have any other questions for me, feel free to, this is my information right here. You can give me a call, email me. My office is, do you know where Grand Hyatt is, by the airport? Okay, I'm over there. But I do work remote all over Florida, so I go everywhere. And that's it. Thank you very much. I hope you guys have a great day. I You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, I got a question for you, not necessarily with education.
Yes.
Do you do whole life policies and everything where we can, they're structured in such a way where we can do real estate on them?
Yes. Yes. Here.
I
Give me your information.
Because my lenders are not moving fast enough for me.
Yes.
So, well,
Oh, or I need your information.
yes, I'll do that here.
Yep, so I actually work with a lot of brokers for that reason. So we can structure, it's called the custom whole life plan. But that is a huge benefit of it.
And how does this generally work? Do you have to like build up the cash amount in the whole life? to
Yes
be able
and no,
to-
so it's compounded interest. So with New York Life, every insurance company is different, but, so this is just from New York Life. Being a mutual insurance company, we pay dividends as well. So you get the interest that already comes with the policy, and then the dividends New York Life pays you, so it's compound.
Okay.
However, that amount is gonna be based on what you put into the policy, so
Is there a max?
depending on how we structure it. So yes and no. It's gonna be a per situation, per client situation.
And then is it, okay, so let's say I got 100,000 in it to start it. Working with that, how easy is it at the flow? Because again, this is something totally new to me, but if you've seen it, like in terms of being able to utilize that I do a lot of deals where it's almost like if you've heard of burr strategy and stuff like that. I buy cash, flip, and then turn around and refi. So
Okay.
that's kind of what I'm
So
working
you
with
need fast
now.
money? Do you need fast money? Because I will be honest with you. This is
It
not
depends on
fast.
how it works. So I have cash
Okay.
to do it, but I didn't know if putting it in something like that where I can utilize the cash, but still, because I know from what I'm hearing and learning is that it still continues the full amount,
It does.
compounds while I'm using it. I
Yes.
don't need it for long periods of time.
Yes.
Because I can
Tax-free.
refund the account back.
Yes. You can
So-
do that. Yep.
But you're saying not fast in terms of the growth or not fast in terms of being able to use it and then put it
Growth,
back?
you can use it.
Okay.
You can use
Okay.
it. So I
The
wasn't
growth
sure
is
growth
not my
wise.
problem.
Okay, well then this is
Yeah.
not an issue. Yeah. So it's tax-free, tax deferred, you borrow against your own policy. So typically in regards to an amount, it's seven to 10 times of what you gross a year. Policy.
Okay, explain that to me again. I'm sorry.
So for the policy, the death benefit is
Yeah.
what we call it. It cannot be more than 7 to 10 times of what your gross salary is. Your entire policy.
Okay, so it'll never grow higher than that?
No, I'm saying legally, tax-wise, the insurance regulation industry will not allow us
So
to.
say I make 100,000, I can't put more than 110 into it?
700,000.
700,000, okay, that's what I,
700,000, yep, a
Okay.
year, yes.
oh, per year, so I can only put 700,000 in a year? We're gonna not, I mean, not
Yeah,
that
no,
much
so,
yet.
you know, Uncle Sam has to have his little 2 cents here and there, insurance is so regulated, so.
Yeah.
But no, a custom whole life policy is exactly what you're referring to. That is definitely a way you want to go. Absolutely.
And are there any rules or anything like that on using that or anything like that?
Nope, you don't ask.
Okay.
You ask that question.
And then what's usually the turnaround time, like if you borrow against it, what's the expectation to have it refunded?
That's up to you.
As long as I don't die.
That's up to you. There's gonna be, the main 3 is you never pay back,
Yeah.
and it just comes off your death benefit. The second option is you pay an interest on it, I believe it's a 2% interest for however you want to structure it.
Okay.
So there's different ways, it's gonna depend on the amount of your policy, is how it's structured in regards to timeline. So it's so different, until we sit down together, I
It's
would.
wild to me to think about, because if I'm like, even if just starting at the basic of like 100,000, if that's still compounding at 100,000, but I'm just using that money
Right,
for
giving
whatever.
it back, it's a circle. It's great, you know, and they don't teach us
Wow, yes.
this, so.
No, I know.
That's why it's like a non-traditional tool, which I personally love, I've been doing this 20 years now.
Yeah.
I try to tell as many people as I can, please.
It's too good to be true, so people are like,
right.
oh,
Like, where's
something
the other
we're
shoe? I'm
gonna
waiting for it to drop.
Yeah,
No, it's just,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Okay,
It's
so
nice
good.
meeting you.
Yes, you too, reach
Yes,
out to me, because
I
I am
will.
interested in doing
Absolutely.
something with this.
Yes, ma'am. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.